Hey guys, just want to add a little trigger warning here at the beginning. Once we got through reading these stories, I realized that one needed to be added. So trigger warning for abuse and rape, or rape-like tendencies, things along those lines. If it's not something that you think you can hear, then please skip this episode. Hello, it's Chelsea with Chit Chat with Chels, and I am accompanied by Jesse, my husband.
Hello.
Hello. So today we will be talking about the bedroom.
The bedroom.
The bedroom.
What's in the bedroom?
Well, there's parts in the bedroom.
Well, that sounds disturbing. Welcome to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Have you ever had anything happen in the bedroom where you're like, what the fuck?
Do you remember who you're talking to?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had funnies and crazies, and I guess the first thing that sticks out is, you know me, I've always got a gun.
Uh-huh.
I like guns.
Right.
So, and also the whole time that we've been together, I've always had a pistol next to my bed.
Yeah, and now I have one on my side of the bed too.
Right. America. So the bed frame that I used to have was a waterbed frame.
I think you told me about this.
I did.
Okay.
So this bed frame had, the headboard had like shelves. It had 2 shelves on the left side, 2 shelves on the right side. The center was just a mirror. In the center is where I just laid my pistol all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a girl that I was seeing, we were in the bedroom doing things, and she's reaching her arms up. Mid-session, touches the gun, gets freaked the fuck out, and she's like, "Oh my God, is that a gun?" I'm like,
blame her. If you weren't aware,
yeah, that's true.
I don't blame her in that aspect.
That's true. It was funny. I mean, it wasn't like a, "Oh my God, I'm scared, I got to get the hell out of here" type of thing. She laughed.
I think it was more of a surprise thing.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, there's a gun here.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like a what the fuck moment.
Well, for me, I was living at my ex's, and we had a couple dogs. And at the time, we had a roommate. And it's not like anything you're thinking. At the time we had a roommate, we thought that he was already like downstairs, passed out, like good to go. And we're in the middle of doing things. And all of a sudden you hear the front door open. And the dogs freak the fuck out. When I tell you, I got yeeted off of the bed and onto the floor. Literally, like, I flew. Because it freaked him out. And I like sat up, and you heard the roommate. And I was like, "You've got to be shitting me. You just threw me on the floor because he just got home."
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Kitty,
no.
I'm trying to think of an actual what the fuck moment.
I don't know. I feel like there's so many of them. Think quick or we're going to move on.
I don't know. A lot of it I don't remember. We'll just move on.
Okay. I mean, I definitely think that the bedroom is a place to explore and laugh and have a good time. However, a lot of these stories are pretty like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know. You'll just have to listen.
All right. Well, we're going to have to do like a second episode of this with like some good juicy stories.
Okay.
Yeah, dirty. Maybe.
I'll have to, yeah.
Maybe.
We'll see. We'll see what we got. We got quite a few stories that I found. Some more recent, some more not. Um, this one was from a month ago on r/relationship advice. I got a list of rules from my 19 female friend, 23 male, after we had sex for the first time, and I'm not sure if it's normal.
A list of rules?
Rules from their friend. So she is 19, he is 23.
Which one gave the rules?
She received the rules from him after they had sex for the first time.
Oh boy.
This happened a few days ago, and I can't decide what to think. I've known him for about 2 years now, and we've started getting more closer recently. We were together last night and a bit tipsy, and we had sex. I was a virgin up till this point, and I wanted to get it over with, honestly. So it was interesting experience. We parted ways and went back to our dorms after it ended. I woke up the next morning to a paragraph from him telling me everything I did wrong and things I could improve on. At the points were numbered, and they were like 10 of them. He said how I should make more noise, I should work on my arch, I should work on my eye contact. I should at least have tried to loosen up before we did it. I think because I was tight because it was my first time. I should be more kinky and not so vanilla. He tried numbered times to choke me or pull my hair and etc., but I stopped him every time. And a couple more points, I think he also said I should put cuter lingerie, and he said how I should be less jumpy and more open to things he wants to do since guys like that more. I told my best friend about this, and she doesn't think I should keep seeing him. But I really like him, and I don't want to stop being friends with him, and I do want there to be another time, but I'm so lost on whether the message is normal or if I'm overreacting. Feel free to ask for any information I must have left out. Also, yes, he did know I was a virgin, and he told me how he likes the idea of taking my virginity because it adds on to my innocence.
This dude sounds like a fucking creep.
I'm sorry, she's a virgin and you're trying to choke her and telling her not to be so tight? She's a virgin.
Dude, I've had a lot of one night stands and, casual sex.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not something I ever did unless it was asked.
Yeah.
To be done. Like, it's not, especially for a virgin.
Right. Like, I think before we got into anything like not as vanilla, we had discussions.
Well, yeah, I mean,
about what we liked and things like that.
That's something I've always tried to make sure, because, I mean, if you're going to continually sleep with a person, you want to know what they like.
Right.
Like, you don't want it to be unenjoyable for yourself or the other party.
No.
For sure. So, yeah, like, definitely have conversations, but for the first time ever,
that's supposed to be vanilla.
Yeah, you just kind of...
Excuse me.
You just kind of let it go. Just take it easy.
Top comment. This is not normal at all and is very degrading. I'd get rid of him altogether. What a jerk. Sorry your first time was with such a loser.
Yeah.
It says she was too tight as well, so I'm guessing no foreplay either.
Well, see, when you said too tight, boys, things are...
Initially, when I read that, I thought too tight as in like too uptight.
Yes, that's what I thought, too.
Until what she said after too tight.
Yeah. Like, well, you're a virgin.
Right.
Like, if the guy knows anything, which he doesn't.
Apparently
clearly,
not.
That's the thing.
And then to say that she should be more kinky and not so vanilla. He tried to choke her and pull her hair, etc. She stopped him every time, which means he tried multiple times to do these things to her. This is something I feel like, yes, it's good to experiment with. Maybe after the first time, maybe discuss it and be like, okay, let's try this.
The girl doesn't even know what she likes yet.
No. It's just, and he liked the idea of taking her virginity because it added to her innocence. That sounds very like creepy.
A little rapey.
Yeah, like why do you want to add to her innocence? What, do you want her to be younger? Like, are you pretending she's younger?
First of all, I don't think that adds to the innocence at all.
Someone said, yeah, fire that dick. I suck at the sex. Here's a 10-point list why it's your fault. Next. I wish I could upvote this 1,000 times. She was a virgin, for fuck's sakes, and he wanted her to act like she was a veteran porn star and perform for him. I doubt he did anything meant to please her, even try to make her first experience enjoyable or memorable in a good way. Her virginity was just a commodity to him. This makes me barf. Older women of the world, we need to talk to the younger women more. It explodes my brain that these young women are struggling to figure out if situations like this are okay.
Yeah, it seems ridiculous. I mean, I don't want to say it's ridiculous to have to ask that question because you don't know, but
She's
at the
19.
same time, yeah, that's
young.
Yeah, that's not how it should go.
And he's 23. Like, one, that age gap makes me a little I can't say anything. I was 19 dating a 34-year-old. Yeah. not the greatest decision in my life, but it's happened. But he should know. And it just felt very I don't know, like kind of like an abuser in a way, like the way that he treated her with it
definitely seems borderline.
Yeah.
Like this dude could transform into something worse.
Like, oh, I took your virginity and now let me degrade you and tell you how horrible it was for me because you weren't good enough.
Yeah.
And trying to cross those boundaries.
Well, and again, to the point that she doesn't even know what she likes yet.
And she stopped him multiple times. She was obviously uncomfortable. You don't do that to her. You don't do that to people in general. Like, that's not okay. So I think she just needs to drop this guy. She needs to take some time and really like the person next time, or love the person next time.
Yeah, didn't she say it was only like a few days or something?
A few days ago.
It happened a few days ago? How long did...
This happened a few days ago, and I can't decide what to think. They'd known each other for 2 years, and they started getting more closer recently. So they're not together.
Okay.
They got together the night before she posted this, bit tipsy, and they had sex. She was at the point she wanted to give up her virginity at that point. She just wanted to get it over with, which I get, but like, I feel like he didn't respect her. Like, she should have been respected. Like, I will say my first time, I heard so many horror stories about other girls' first time and how bad it was and how rough, and all these other. My first time was amazing. He was gentle, sweet, like, made sure I was okay throughout the whole thing. Like, it was I feel like it was like the perfect first time.
That's good.
How was your first time?
I was at a party. And
goodness.
Pretty much got like drug into a room.
Okay. Well, that's not.
I've taken virginity in my time too, and I know like there's for sure two. And like I don't really remember it that much. I hope that I wasn't a piece of shit.
Right.
But I was like 15 or 16.
Yeah.
So
I've only
not to say that like if I was a dickhead that's okay, but I was young, dumb, full of cum, like literally. Oh boy.
I've only taken one person's virginity. Um, and I don't know. I hope when he thinks about it, it's a good experience. I I remember bits and pieces.
I think it's a whole different game between men losing their virginity and women.
I think so too. I mean, as far as I'm aware, it's not painful for men.
No.
Like I don't know. I'm
It's
not a man.
embarrassing. I was
Well,
embarrassed after my first time.
I feel like that's
I was
for
like,
most people.
yeah, I was like stoked. I'm like, yeah, I had sex. But
Yeah.
like, it's like 5 minutes maybe.
Mhm.
Like, oh.
But I feel like for a woman, like it's painful. It can be messy depending. Like you're very vulnerable. And um I hope that this woman finds somebody that's not this guy that will show her what it's supposed to be like
Right.
at some point. No.
Yeah.
My advice to her is she should boot him
Yeah.
to the curb. Sorry, Draco. I just stepped on his little foot. Okay, so this next one is also from Relationship Advice. This one's from 8 months ago. My male 32, wife's female 27, ex-boyfriend sent me a video of him having sex with my wife after he found out we're having a baby. How can I deal with this?
Jesus.
Yeah. My wife and I have been married for 4 years and we're expecting our first child. Everything has been pretty normal and all right in our relationship. I do know her ex-boyfriend since they'd been together for such a long time before we met, but didn't hear anything about him after we got married. I always found our marriage pretty healthy and perfect after all. Nothing ever made me feel doubtful or insecure until now. Last week, we had a little party with our close friends and family to announce my wife's pregnancy. Everything was all right and planned, but somehow someone, maybe some mutual friends, told my wife's ex-boyfriend about her pregnancy. So around 2 days after our party, he texted me. At first, I thought it was just a simple drunk text and stuff, but shit was worse than I thought. There was a video. I tried so hard not to watch it because I knew that would be nothing good to watch anyways. But then I finally did, and I wish I never did. It was a video of my wife having sex with him. The concept of seeing my wife having sex with someone else, even though it was for many years ago, we already fucked up enough. But I hate the way that it was also so passionate, romantic. I don't know how to explain it, but you could literally feel the connection between them. And I hated that. It was like a whole life got destroyed in 1 second. My head got filled with messed up things, messed up scenarios, messed up doubts. Now I can't take it out of my head. My wife's noticed something's up, but I hadn't told her about it yet. I don't know if I ever will. In my whole life, I've never felt worse. I heard my wife telling another guy that she wants to have his kids while she's carrying my kid. Man, I hate this situation, but I'm really confused. Don't know how to deal with it. Don't know how to take this stuff out of my head. Should I tell her? Should I just go beat the shit out of him instead? Should I just get over it? Any advice would be appreciated.
I have been pretty close to this situation before. And yeah, the first thing that you want to do is go beat the shit out of him. But the smart thing to do is immediately have the conversation with your wife. Like immediately. I know that it's a hard thing to do, but if it like it is clearly bothering this dude really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And
Definitely.
the only way to even start to help himself is to have that conversation with his wife.
Well, and especially because, like, this was obviously the way that he words it, it makes it hard to tell. But the video was taken when her and her ex were together.
Right.
So it's like,
so yeah, like he knows that like she's not cheating on him.
yeah.
But okay, so she's got an ex that's being a piece of shit. So like they've been together for 4 years. This video could have been taken 6 years ago. Like when you see that type of thing,
Mm-hmm.
it's I mean, it's no different than like thinking about your significant other sleeping with somebody else.
Right.
But now you're like witnessing it, whether or not it's in the past, like you're seeing it firsthand. And like he said, you can see that connection. And that's hard because you don't imagine, like, when right now we're sitting across from each other.
Right.
It is literally harmful to my brain to think about if that situation were to happen with us.
Yeah. I get that to a point. I feel like obviously that relationship didn't last for a reason. She's obviously with him for a reason. She's carrying his child. He is the one sleeping with her every night.
Right.
And I do think he needs to talk to his wife.
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree.
And I feel like that's also kind of like revenge porn that he has.
Yeah, pretty
and
much.
he's sharing it. Like, that's not...
Yeah. Well, and that's why I said, like, the immediate thing that this dude needs to do is have that conversation with his wife.
Right.
Because, like, hey, look, like, you don't even know, or you might know that he has this video, but you don't know that he sent it to me. Right. So, like, hey, like, this just happened.
And the fact that maybe she doesn't know that he still has it.
Right.
Like, you would think that that person would delete it after you broke up. OP did respond to a message and said, "Thank you so much for your advice. I also want to thank everyone else for their advice because they actually helped me think straight instead of just acting emotional. Most of you said I should talk to her, and some even said I have to file a report. But dude, I really, really, really don't want to put any pressure on my wife. I don't know how will she react to the whole situation, but I just know that she definitely won't be happy. And considering the fact that she's on her first month of pregnancy and already having many unstable stuff physically and mentally, I don't think telling about this would be a good idea. I just don't want to lose the most valuable thing in my life to some pathetic guy who absolutely wants it anyway."
That's fair, too.
It's just, that's so hard.
To me, like, honesty is always the best policy.
Yes.
And, like I said, I've been in a situation that's pretty close to that. And even just trying to hold that in for a few days can wreck you. Now, if he's got the mental capacity to deal with it, then good for him. But, like, me, at the time when it happened, I did not have the mental capacity. It threw me for a fucking huge loop. I lost my shit, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So props to this guy for being able to keep his shit together.
Yeah. Top comment: your wife deserves to know about a video of her being shared without her consent. You need to realize how messed up it is that her ex still has the video and actually has the guts to share it with you. He isn't stable. Their relationship didn't work out for a reason. A response to that is, "This is a police matter. Go to the police with the guy's revenge porn he shared without your wife's consent. It is not fair to punish your wife for this. See a shrink." I definitely think he needs to go and talk to somebody.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying revenge porn, digital violence, saying that he can go and press charges. There was not an update, unfortunately, so we don't know what happens. It was a throwaway. You can tell by the name.
Right.
So I think he needs to tell his wife he needs to go see a shrink and file a police report.
Yeah. That's a hard situation to be in.
It is. It's really heavy.
Yeah.
The last couple were pretty heavy. This next one is just kind of gross.
Okay. Great segue.
This one is from 6 years ago. So
Jesus.
I went way back.
Hold on a second.
What?
You just did it again. You remember that conversation that I had? You were telling me about something, and you just kept getting louder and louder and louder.
Did I do it?
You just did.
I'm sorry, everybody's ears.
You're
this
like,
happens.
This was from 6 years ago.
And I don't realize it when it happens. It happens when I get excited. So
this is another. Obviously, we're 25 minutes into this podcast, so you know that this is an audio only episode. Chelsea is bouncing in her chair across from me right now. The excitement is real. Let's go.
Okay. So this is from 6 years ago. R/am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for having sex with my girlfriend with used sex toys?
Oh.
Uh-huh.
What?
Yep.
Why the fuck are you even asking? First of all, to put that out publicly. Secondly,
right.
like, if you have to ask, then yes, sir.
Gosh, so gross. Anyway, starts out with, I like sex. I've amassed a small amount of fun sex toys to have sex with. All of them were bought during my previous relationships, and all were used at one point or another with my former girlfriend. After the third or fourth time I had sex with my current girlfriend, I busted out my fuck box, which contained my sex toys. We've been having fun with them for a couple of weeks now. We were browsing an online sex store earlier, and she noticed one of my toys had a newer model. I said, yeah, that makes sense. The one I have was purchased a couple of years ago. She asked, so it's been just sitting around ever since? Of course, I'm like, no, I was in a relationship, so we used it. Who buys sex toys just to sit around? Her face soured immediately. I used a fucking sex toy on her that I also used with another girl. Do I know how disgusting that is? Do I know how disrespectful that is? My honest answer to both questions was no. I mean, I bought them. Of course, I'm going to use them. I have also went above and beyond the cleaning recommendations by the factory. If they have been sitting for a while, they are completely re-cleaned again. They're completely safe. She disagrees. How dare I use something on her that I used on another woman? Sorry for being graphic, but my response was, I've used my dick on 20 other women, half of which I don't even remember their names. The toys are way cleaner than me, but you're completely fine. You're not complaining about that. She says that's different. How am I the asshole here?
I get his point.
But
no. Little.
No.
Hold on. I said a little.
Okay.
Like, I get it. But generally, he probably showers once a day, or fuck if it's once every 3 days. He is cleaner than all those toys.
Right.
Like, I guess maybe with his thinking, like if you were to put a condom on those toys, maybe. But still, like,
doesn't sound like you did that.
Don't. First of all, if you're gonna have a fuck box with some chick, give her all those toys.
Right.
Get another fuck box for like unopened shit.
Yeah, and the thing is, I could understand if he kept his toys, like if he had like a pocket pussy or something like that.
Right.
Like that I can totally understand. If it is a toy that goes in her,
yeah,
that should only be used by the person it was used by initially. Never anybody else.
That's why I said I can see where he's coming from, but he is still wrong.
100% wrong. That is absolutely disgusting. Let's say he misses a crevice or something that is someone else's stuff inside of her. Could totally mess up her pH. Could totally give her a yeast infection, urinary tract infection, all kinds of stuff. Huh.
I want to let you know that using the word crevice in this instance is wild.
Okay, some of those toys have like veins.
I understand.
And crevices.
Oh my God. It's just a wild word to use in this context.
Top comment, you're the asshole for not telling her before and using it on her. You have to ask her if it's okay if it's used. Jeez.
Well, yeah. I mean, I have had oh my God. Okay, so I bought myself a toy a long time ago. It came with like 3 small free toys. They were all vibrators that came with the toy. I did not buy myself a fucking vibrator. Is this like the second fucking time I've said this on this podcast?
Something like that.
Jesus Christ. Okay, I bought myself a toy that was not a vibrator. It came with 3 vibrators.
Okay.
So one of them was not something I would ever use or want to see anybody use or whatever, so I threw it away. I had 2 other ones that were in a package.
Okay.
I had a girlfriend. We used the one.
Mm-hmm.
We split up. I don't remember if she took it or it got thrown away. I had the other one in a box. New girl comes over. I tell new girl, hey, I have this thing. It's brand new. She wanted to use it.
Right.
This was a one-night stand.
She can
New
take it with her.
girl went home with a new toy.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple.
I'm sorry. I wish I had had a one-night stand where I got to go home with a new toy.
Well, you should have met me earlier.
But that's how it should be. That's disgusting. And then the thing is we have it both ways on the comments. One says there's a reason secondhand clothing shops don't accept underwear. Same reason, other person's fluids.
Really? That's where I get all my boxers.
No, you don't. don't go around telling people that. He's not disgusting, I swear. Holy shit, the audacity to assume what she would or wouldn't want on her lady parts isn't important in anything. Nonetheless, something that's been used on someone else's genitalia. I'd be disgusted if this happened to me. However, we have someone else with a different mindset.
They have dirty underwear.
No, this is on her as much as him. If you're a lady and you're fucking a dude and he pulls out a box of freaking dildos and such from under his bed, are you actually just going to assume they're all brand new without so much as asking? If I pull a sex toy out from under my bed and it's not in its original package, I think it's a safe assumption that it's been used before.
That's a good point.
It is.
It's a good point, but even still, like, on OP, you're the asshole.
Yeah, he's the asshole. And that's what Reddit told him, that he was the asshole.
Yucky.
It's so gross. Yeah. No, you're the asshole. You're disgusting. Let me see if he posted anything else. What? Sorry. There's a comment from OP. I can't tell what he was responding to. Oh, don't do that. That's mean. It says, I was never offered compensation. LOL. I'm starting to think it's not because they have been used before, but she has a problem with my toys because I like them being used on me. Do you think that's a strong possibility?
What? All right, dude. Like, again, if it's a, like, pocket pussy type toy and it's just been used on you, that's all right. But if you have dildos that you're sticking in your own ass, that is also not okay to be putting in a woman. Like,
yeah, this took a turn.
I would like to turn my car into a bridge.
Not just a fuck box, but a fuck box full of strap-ons plus dildos of different colors and sizes to fit in the strap-ons plus cock rings as well as vibrators. Honestly, if you saw all of that, would you assume that none of it had ever been used before? Especially if you are having sex with a dude that told you he's into that kind of stuff. Okay. I will say if it's being used on her, I think that's fucked up. If it's stuff that she's using on him and he's had it used on him by someone else, maybe he should have gotten a new harness. Like, because you have to put the harness on for the strap on. Like, if she's going to peg him.
Why do you know that?
Because I don't live under a rock. Anyway.
Have you done it before?
I have not.
Are you lying?
No.
Would you tell me if you pegged a guy?
100% I would tell you if I pegged a guy.
Thank fuck.
I have not pegged a guy.
You're not going to either. Not in this fucking relationship.
I could see her being upset and wanting like a different harness to put on because it does kind of go around your genitalia. But if all of the toys were being used on him,
Well, like I said, if they're his toys and the only body that it's being used on is his,
Right.
then I accept. Because it's no different than you having a toy from 15 years ago or whatever. 15 is probably a stretch. But, if you had a toy our from before our relationship and you
Right.
still have that toy's only been used on you. Perfect.
Yeah, because it says these are primarily cock rings and strap-ons that are used for pegging. Would you throw out the cock rings that only go on your own cock and strap-ons that are only used for pegging you in the garbage every time you have a new sexual partner? That's different. He didn't explain that.
Right, yeah, that was an ill-explained situation.
He
He
responded.
made himself sound like an asshole.
He did make himself sound like a complete asshole. He responded a lot.
Either he is being honest about all this, or he feels like a dumb shit,
And he's making it up.
It's probably an account that's not associated with him, and
This is the only thing he has on it.
right, yeah, exactly.
It's the only
he's
post.
either an asshole or he's being serious. It's hard to say, but yeah, you did a bad job explaining why you had a fuck box. If it was I'm fucking girls with this box, then you should be replenishing that box every time you have a new partner.
Yeah, definitely.
Very simply put.
And then if he has everything in one box, I do think that maybe have a separate box, one that is solely for you, and one that is for your partner. Because honestly, if you were into that kind of stuff, I would not want the stuff that is going in that hole of yours in my hole.
Yikes. Well, yeah, I mean, like that instance that I was talking about, it was like taking the wrapper off of it, putting batteries in it.
It's like when you go get a tattoo and they open up the packaging in front of you to tell you it's a new needle, it's a new this,
Check out my guitar string, dude.
Okay.
Moving on.
Yes, we're going to move on. This one is from 2 months ago from r/relationship advice. My 27 male fiance.
Carbonated water.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
I thought it was a mix and package.
Sorry. He just took a drink of my water I had down here, and it was peach carbonated water. You should see the look on his face.
I do not like that shit.
I told you wouldn't. There's water right next to you. Drink it.
Give me another drink.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna cringe, but I'm thirsty.
Anyway.
Love you guys.
Anyway, my 27 male fiance, 24 female, started acting weird after I told her why I didn't want to have sex with her. What'd I do?
What'd you tell her?
Okay. My fiance and I have been together for 5 years and are getting married at the end of September of this year. We had never had sex in this time because I told her I didn't want to yet. A couple weeks ago, she drank too much and started getting a little horny and wanted to initiate intimacy, but I told her no. She insisted and even put her hand down my pants. I just left her in the room and slept on the couch. The next day, she looked pretty embarrassed and defeated, but asked me why I didn't want to have sex with her, and I told her the truth. That when I was little, I was abused, and that shit really traumatized me. I had never mentioned this. I always tried to avoid the subject. She understood and told me that it would be good to go to therapy, but after that, she's been acting distant towards me. She doesn't kiss me. She doesn't hug me. She doesn't even want to cuddle with me anymore. She literally prefers to sleep on the edge of the bed so that our bodies don't touch. Why is she acting this way? Is it awkward? I'm really worried that she took this the wrong way because we are getting married soon.
I think you need to set boundaries. That's something happened to you when you were a child, and you finally explain that, and then now there's an adverse side effect. I think you need to just have a conversation and say, like, hey, I'm okay with cuddling. I'm okay with a kiss. I want to sleep next to you in bed. But how did you tell her no? Because if you told her no, yeah, okay, she was drunk, but at the same time, women take it a lot harder than men when they get told no.
Well, and it sounds like he just got up and left the room.
Yeah, that's kind of...
My issue with this is the fact that they've been together 5 years. He has not told her in these 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
And they are getting married. So what was he going to do? Not have sex with her ever?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, then I feel like he's manipulating her into a sexless marriage.
Well, it's not going to end well for you, buddy.
And that's not fair to her. I understand that he has his issues.
Right.
And I understand why. And that's never something that anybody should have to go through.
Right.
However, she shouldn't be punished because of what happened to you.
I'd agree.
Top comment, she doesn't want to trigger you. Since she doesn't know what will, she's backing off. You really need therapy ASAP because what's going to happen when you two get married? No sex still. Otherwise, you might as well end the relationship because you two aren't sexually compatible as of right now.
Agreed.
It's not. Ooh. And I didn't even read these comments. This one says that may be part of it, but he tried to trap her into a sexless marriage. What was he going to say on the wedding night? Someone said, "I'm tired, babe. Maybe another night until somebody dies."
Just endless.
Someone said he's been hiding the truth this entire time. They need to cancel the wedding now.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I felt like when we got married very recently.
Like 2 months.
Yeah, I don't. There's probably a few things that we don't know about each other.
Not a lot,
It's
though.
probably mostly shit that we either know that we don't want to hear or it's just never been brought up.
Yeah.
Other than that, you know about my trauma. I've had something happen to me in the past. You've heard about that. I think they've been together for 5 years.
5 years.
And they're just getting married.
Yeah.
So a similar situation to us.
Yeah, except we had sex.
Okay, yeah. Fair. Well, damn, you never questioned it before, for one.
He told her he wasn't ready, that he didn't want to before they got married.
Okay, that's fair. But, yeah, you should... God damn it, you just gotta be fucking open. You gotta... The reason I am so vulnerable with you is because when we were having issues, my sister and I went and had a talk, and she told me that I need to learn how to be more vulnerable. And I didn't even know what that meant at the time. I was 20 fucking...
I don't even know.
9?
Something like that.
29 years old, and I didn't know how to be vulnerable with the girl that I loved. Love.
Yes, but back then, you know, I can see what tense you were talking about that in.
So you have to be able to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because once we both had a bunch of growing that we had to do.
Yes.
And I think that was a huge staple on my end, is that I was able to be vulnerable with you and tell you how I feel and things that have happened to me and why I feel this way and blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
That I think that it's something that can transfer to like everybody's relationship.
Yes. OP commented and says, "It's a topic that still makes me a little embarrassed, and I simply thought that we would continue as before." Someone responded and says, "You can't be serious. If this is the kind of relationship you want, sexless, that's something you need to disclose early on in the relationship, not 5 years in."
Very early on.
It says, "You honestly thought that a person would continue to not have sex and not discuss not having sex after marriage? That's a good way to get an annulment in under a week."
Yep.
They're just telling him that he needs to talk this out with her. Definitely needs to talk this out with her, because as far as like what I'm reading, it sounds like he is still at a point where he can't mentally go to that space, that intimacy space, without having PTSD or flashbacks or, you know, whatever part is happening with that. And that's not fair to her.
No, it's not. And that's the thing. You never know without being able to tell, you know, be open and vulnerable. You could be open and vulnerable with this woman, and she could be the answer. She could have it for you.
Yeah.
You know, it's so hard to say without trying. Because there's been things I've come to you with as like a last resort. Like, I didn't want to bring this up to you. I didn't want to be a burden, blah, blah, blah. And lo and behold, ding, 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 Chelsea fucking knows best. Don't get a big head over there. But yeah, I mean, and that can be, that I think that can also be translated through friends, family, relationships. Like, if you feel comfortable with talking to somebody about something, just try it.
Right.
'Cause, I mean, you're going to know pretty early on in the conversation if you're talking to the right person or not.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, very situationally dependent. That was a difficult word. Yeah, whatever, dude. I just tripped over everything I was ever trying to think.
That's okay.
Derp.
Okay. 6 years ago.
I'm too dumb for a podcast, I think.
You're not dumb. This one was also from 6 years ago. R/am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for admitting to my boyfriend that I think he's bad in bed?
Can I get my thoughts on that real quick?
Yeah.
Remember how I was just saying you got to be open?
Mm-hmm.
Sex is a very communicable thing. Like,
I hope she didn't just be like, well, you're a shit person in bed.
you suck.
You
got a little
suck.
dick.
Rather than being like, well, if you did it this way,
Right.
this could really help with how my body reacts.
Man, put your finger in my ass. Sorry.
Honey. Remember where you are, please.
My office, dude. Get the fuck out. Any hoodles?
I'm just gonna, I got nothing. I'm just going to start reading. It says, I did not bring this up, but when what makes someone good in bed came up in a conversation, my boyfriend asked me point blank if I think that he's good in bed. And I said, no. He's angry because it's not his fault I don't get off, which is true. I can't get off from just PIV sex. And he doesn't like that things that do get me off, oral, kissing, foreplay.
Hold on. What's PIV?
Penis and vagina.
Oh, okay. That's pretty fucking straightforward.
Yep. I've told him twice now politely that I'm unsatisfied and I'd like him to do X, Y, and Z to fix that. Initiate, show some passion / lust, occasionally offer to do the things that might help me get off, like play with me with a toy. He agrees. He knows how to please me. He just doesn't make the effort because he doesn't get anything out of it. So I said, well, yeah, that's literally the definition of bad in bed. He got angry and said, it's my job to make him do those things. I said, well, I can't enjoy it if I have to force you. That's not sexy at all. And he got huffy and left. Obviously, I'm very grateful that he wants to sleep with me at all. I dated my last boyfriend for 5 years and he really only wanted it once every month or two. But I don't think that alone makes someone good in bed. I put a ton of effort into my appearance / fitness. I show initiative and enjoyment in our sex life. I compliment him and make him feel sexy. He does none of those things. Otherwise, our relationship is good though. So of course, I never tank it over this. Was I supposed to just lie to my boyfriend? Am I the asshole here? No.
No, not the asshole, because you would have been the asshole if you would have just lied to him and been like, oh, yeah, you're fucking great. And I'm like, in bed afterwards. But yeah, it seems like he's the asshole. Like, okay, so if she lists out to you A, B, and C, this will fucking do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Me? I'm like, all right, dude.
Let's go for it.
Let's do that.
Yep. It sounds very selfish because he said, well, what does he get out of it? The satisfaction of knowing that you just got your girl off.
Right. You just pleased your woman.
He sounds like a very selfish lover, unfortunately. And I don't like what she said about I'm very grateful that he wants to sleep with me at all. It sounds like her self-worth is very low. Her self-esteem is very low. And it sounds like she needs to raise the bar with who she's with.
There's certain people, certain types of people that just like, how do you even put this? They just like, yeah, I guess it's just selfishness. Like
It's
they're
selfish.
just in it for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just one of those things I don't understand, I guess, because I've never really been like that. I probably have a few times in my life. Who hasn't?
Right.
But like, it's always been my goal anytime I have sex with anyone to try. I know I'm not gonna be, but I'm gonna try to be the best lay you've ever had.
Right.
I will do my fucking damnedest.
Well, you succeed.
Durka. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'm not, but again, I'm going to do everything that I can in my power to please you. It's not.
But I feel
As
like
a guy, it's not very hard to get off.
But I feel like it's that state of mind and that willingness to be like, I'm going to go above and beyond that makes you good in bed.
Dude, I'll fucking drive a truck in there if I got
Oh my God. How big do you think it is?
I'm just saying. I'd do anything. I could back a trailer.
Anyway, top comment. Not the asshole. He shouldn't ask a question he is not willing to hear the answer to. Also,
Absolutely.
he sounds like a very selfish lover. He knows how to get you off but isn't willing to. Girl, you've got to raise your standards. Willing to sleep with me is a very low bar. You can walk into any space with single men and find men who will sleep with you. Sex is not just about your own pleasure. It is also about giving pleasure. If he doesn't get that, he will always be a mediocre lover at best.
I agree. And I've always said that. I always have said that it's easier for a woman to find a lay than it is for a guy.
Yeah, I could download an app right now and have 5 guys.
You probably don't even have to do that. Walk down to the fucking bar.
I don't want to go to the bar. I also don't need to find anybody. That's just the point.
Yeah, okay. That fucking got blown way out of proportion, folks. But yeah, it's not, I don't know.
Ooh, that's a good point. Comment says, I can't imagine how traits like this would be limited to the bedroom. It's not like he magically becomes a different person when his clothes are on. So I'm sure he's selfish about other aspects in their relationship, and maybe she's just not seeing it. Yeah, there is no way he isn't selfish in other aspects. He has likely reinforced her low self-esteem to keep her around, telling her she can't get someone better. I know this because I had a boyfriend like him at one time. It took a while to see what he was wrong, which is why now if a partner is selfish in bed, once is all it takes for me to hit the road. And we've had that conversation when I've told you that if we didn't match compatibly in bed, then our relationship would have never gotten to even like living together long term, let alone getting married.
Right.
Like I would not live a life with bad sex.
No.
So not the asshole. And I think you should leave him. I know that I feel like a lot of times I'm like, oh, leave him, divorce him, da da da. But come on, people. Like,
well, I think we're on the same page with that too. But we're both coming from knowledge of shitty relationships too. Like, we're past the shitty relationships.
yes.
And these people are still in them, so it's kind of...
Yeah. It's hard because it's like, been there, done that.
Right.
You should run.
Dude, I mean, I won't lie. I bitch about you all the time.
Wow.
You're my wife.
Yeah. Like, that's just what it's supposed to be.
Right. Well, here's the thing. As long as you are still my piece,
Yeah.
then I'm willing to make things work all
Well,
the time.
and I feel like even if it got to the point where like I wasn't your piece or you weren't my piece, I feel like we could sit down and have a conversation, figure out what's going on and why that changed, and work on getting that back.
Right. Yeah, that's. We've also had that conversation before too. Is that we're not just gonna run. We've had our chances to do that.
Yeah.
And
we gave each other multiple outs.
Yep.
And we did not take them. Thank God, because here we are.
Yay.
Good God. Okay. This one was from 5 months ago on the relationship advice. My boyfriend, male 26, likes to have really rough sex, and I, female 20, do not. What can I do to fix it?
Oh.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You gotta go.
That's what I think. I, female 20, have been dating my boyfriend, male 26, for 7 months. Other than this issue, our relationship is really great. Seems like it always starts out that way, huh?
Honeymoon phase.
Yeah. This issue really is that he enjoys really rough sex, which I very much do not. This started on the very first time we ever had sex, which was my first time ever.
Oh.
It was literally so freaking painful. I bled. Tears literally welled up in my eyes. It was awful. I was not even close to having an orgasm. Afterwards, I was getting redressed, and he told me that it would be better from then on. Well, I believed him, but it wasn't true. I am a lot smaller than my boyfriend, and he seems to think like this only to be able to manhandle me and throw me around. I've told him multiple times now I hate this, but he says he likes it, and it's not hurting me. Which is true. It doesn't hurt me, but it doesn't mean I like it. And it is so, so, so rough. I am trying not to be too graphic, but to get the whole picture, he will shove my face down there without even asking if it's what I want to do. He also shoves my head down during sex. He goes entirely too hard, holds me in positions that are quite literally painful at the worst and just very uncomfortable at the least, and so much more. I've told him many times now how I hate this and how it doesn't feel good to me. I don't like being forced into whatever he wants, and I especially hate feeling like I don't have a say. He has claimed to understand, talked about it, promised not to do it, but it never lasts. One night recently, he wanted to have sex, and I asked if I could be on top, thinking that I would control the situation better. He said yes, and it was all fine until he deemed I was going too slow and did it himself. Like every solution is not good enough. I am trying so hard to be good at this and also honest, but he's so unreceptive. What do I do? I literally cannot help having sex like this, cannot keep having sex like this. It's leaving me sore and with literal bruises on my arms and legs sometimes. Please help me.
You need to help yourself, sweetheart.
She's
you need to get the fuck out
being
of there.
abused.
Yeah.
100% she's being abused. That's not... She said that his reasoning was it's not hurting her. And she said, he's right, it's not. And then a paragraph later, literal painful. Right. Like, you're in pain. He's leaving marks that you don't want. Like, that's not...
While it may be consensual, that's not what you want.
To a point, but she even said that he's forcing her into positions and things. So it's like, is it consensual or is it not? Like...
It's like or like wanting to have sex is consensual, but how is not consensual.
Yeah. Yeah. Top comment, I think it's time to break up with him. You've told him countless times you don't like it, and he's constantly ignoring your feelings about it. Yeah, and when we talk, he claims to understand and even seems like he does, but then nothing. That was OP responding. Mm-hmm. I'm going to see if she responded to anything else.
This was 5 months ago?
Yeah.
Jeez.
This, without ability to say no. Without the ability to say no, BDSM is rape. Without the ability to say no, the sub has 100% control so they can stop at any moment. The relationship isn't BDSM, it's abuse. Someone responded this 100%. I am not a member of the BDSM community, but I know folks who are, and they are very, very clear about consent, boundaries, and communication. And they get angry AF at those that use their community as a way to excuse their shitty behavior. Mm-hmm. Which is true. Anybody you talk to in that community, consent is one of the biggest things in that community. Oh, it looks like OP has responded quite a bit. So she's reading all the comments. Her mother passed away when she was 15. She doesn't have anybody to talk to about this. I meant the like shoving me around did not necessarily hurt, but I don't like it. But yes, thank you. I did read this comment and I do understand. I guess saying like, if it does hurt, that's not okay. I know several people have pointed this out. I'm realizing now it does hurt, but he was telling me it's normal or that I'm overly sensitive, but it's not, and I'm not.
Yeah, you gotta go.
He's abusing her, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. And again, first time. I feel like these men, and it could be a women, but I feel like you hear it more about men. They seek out these women who have no experience in this aspect of things because they're easier to manipulate. They don't know what it should be like or what it could be like. So they're teaching them what they want them to be like. Mm-hmm. And that's just not okay. That's not okay at all.
I agree.
That needs
is a fucked up situation.
Oh God, she needs to get out.
I hope she has.
Needs to get out. I really hope she has. There's no other comments. This is a throwaway. Unfortunately, so many people are telling her it's not normal. If it's hurting during sex, like that's not okay. Someone said, so what are you going to do about it? Nobody responded to that. I really hope she got out.
Same. That made me uncomfortable.
I know. I think that one I just read the title and saved it. I don't think I read the whole thing. Yeah. Likey. No.
I hate hearing shit like that.
Yeah, but the unfortunate part of things is that it's the reality for a lot of people. Yeah. You know, and if people don't talk about it, like I feel like other people could get trapped in scenarios like that. And that's not okay. So moving on to hopefully something a little not as serious and not as uncomfortable. This person has since deleted their account, so I can't check if they've posted anything else or if they responded to any of the comments. Posted 2 years ago. Am I the asshole for being honest about my honeymoon sex?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
How was your honeymoon sex?
It was amazing.
Oh, my
God. Sorry, Mom. My fiance and I'm 26, he's 28, are taking an 8-day honeymoon in Brazil, which is where he is originally from. This trip has been in the works for a long time, and a few weeks ago, I learned that his parents were hoping to stop by and visit us during our honeymoon, and even asked to stay with us. We have rented a 3-bedroom place near a beach for 2 of the nights. I said absolutely not, and my husband agreed. He told them no, that is because we want our privacy. His parents, who I have grown very close to, send me a separate text asking in a lighthearted way, I thought, if it was really a big problem, if I agreed with him, and I said yes, I did agree. His mom asked me why, and I was honest. I said I want to be able to be open and free with him without thinking about house guests. She said, so this is about sex? I thought she was still being lighthearted, and I replied, if I'm being honest, I'm going to fuck his brains out in every room of that house. No response. So this has become a whole thing. My mother-in-law thinks I'm disrespectful. My father-in-law thinks I'm a sex monster of some kind. My husband thinks it was way too far of me. Am I the asshole? Do I owe them an apology?
That was the end of the post?
That was the end of the post.
No, you're not the asshole. You, like... I don't know how many times I'm going to have to say it on this podcast, but if you say something a certain way, people are not going to take it any other way. So you sometimes have to say it to get your point across like that. And that sounds like what she did. It's your honeymoon. That's another fucking thing I keep hearing these stories on here about is why do these parents, first of all, why do your parents want to join you on your honeymoon? Did they not have a honeymoon themselves? Did they not like ever have sex?
I can understand these parents wanting to meet up with them for like lunch. Because they
Yeah,
are
that's
going
fine.
back to where he's from. I'm guessing that's where they still live. However, go stay at home.
Right.
Go back home. It's their honeymoon. They're gonna have sex. That's literally the point of a honeymoon, is to have sex and go do things. Like, no.
We didn't.
We did too.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yes, you do.
Ugh.
Top comment, not the asshole. I think it's hilarious. I probably would have done the same thing. Your fiance needs to be the one to put his foot down. It seems like the parents have the impression that you're the bad guy and he needs to be won over. And I'm sure your fiance has deflected enough to make it seem like this. Also, how weird. Why would anyone want to go on someone else's honeymoon? You are so spot on. Oh my goodness.
It's just so weird.
Yeah, it is super weird. Someone says it's their goddamn honeymoon. Of course it is about sex. Oh my goodness.
Them parents better get over it. Like, and if they don't, that sucks for them.
Well, and I think it might be like a cultural thing too.
Oh, I guess I didn't think about that. Either way, people from all cultures have sex.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like a lot of cultures don't talk about it.
No.
Like, I feel like Americans are definitely more open about sex and kinks and pretty much compared to a lot of others. However, I think that because we're so open, you get what you want.
Right.
And how you want it and when you want it. And that's nice.
Settle down over there, lady.
No.
Oh boy.
Okay. We're going to do this one. Okay. 2 years ago, am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for banning my sister and her boyfriend from my apartment after they had sex in my bed?
Oh.
God, I hate that.
Uh-huh.
I, 28 male, had to travel overseas for a couple of weeks for work-related reasons. My sister, 19 female, college is nearby, and she offered to feed my cats and water my plants while I was gone. I said, sure, thanks, and told her she was welcome to stay there while I was gone since she lives in the dorm. Anyway, the day I got home, my sister was there with her boyfriend. That was fine. He's always seemed like a cool guy. But one thing I noticed was that my sheets were still in the washer. I didn't think much of it. I just assumed my sister waited to wash them since she was using my bed while she was there. But she tells me, sorry, my boyfriend and I were using the bed last night. That grossed me out. I don't think I'm being unreasonable to not want people screwing in my bed. My sister told me to relax and said I was being a prude American. Her boyfriend is from Ireland. She said that we, meaning Americans, stigmatize sex and that she washed the sheets so it's fine. I said, no, it's not, and told her to get out. She isn't welcome there anymore. Our mother has been reaming me via text saying I'm overreacting. Am I the asshole?
No, you're not the asshole.
No.
It's your bed as like a private person is a private place.
Yeah, definitely.
And first of all, like, shame on the sister because like there's not a couch. You never fucked on the floor.
Right.
Jesus.
Make a pile of blankets or something.
Right. I mean, I'm not going to say I've never done that kind of thing, but, you know, I guess just fucking probably could have just not said anything.
That'd be weird. Like, that would be like me screwing in my sister and brother-in-law's bed. We didn't do that. We went to the driveway.
That's fair.
Right. It was in the car. in the driveway. Anyway, I didn't want people to think we were just like on the concrete because that's weird.
That'd suck.
That would really suck. Top comment, not the asshole. I'm from Ireland and I wouldn't be all top of the morning to ya if I came home and someone's in my bed having sex. However, in saying that, I have stayed in multiple hotels, Airbnbs, and hostels. And if you think you haven't slept in a bed that someone has had sex in before, ...
Dude, can you imagine the fucking hotel that we stayed in the honeymoon?
But I think there's a difference.
We're not the only one, dude.
I think there's a difference. Like, that is your bed in your house that you sleep in every night.
Right.
When you go and you rent a hotel or an Airbnb or you stay in a hostel, whatever the circumstances, you are well aware that you're going into a bed that other people have slept in. Other people have probably screwed in. God knows what happened.
Right. Well, and that's, like I said, it's your home. It's a private home. You know,
Yeah.
Like, when I had my apartment, it's the same thing. Like, I don't think I ever let any of my buddies go screw in my bed.
No, I would never do that.
No, it's just
I was,
like I said, fuck on the couch, dude.
I was throwing a Halloween party one time and one of my friends was like, I kind of want to go have a quickie with my boyfriend. I was like, go to the bathroom.
Right.
Go to the bathroom. Go do some. You're not going into my bedroom. That's not happening. No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not the asshole. I mean, maybe banning her from your apartment. Obviously, at some point, like, allow your sister to come back.
Yeah, it's your sister.
Maybe don't let her apartment sit for you ever again.
Yeah. Draw a line somewhere for sure. I think you're right, but like banning is probably a little fucking much.
Yeah, I can understand if you're like super upset and you're like, you're banned. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, emotional response type thing. I can understand.
I tried to click on this person's account, and the account has been suspended.
Ugh.
So I cannot tell if they've posted anything else. Okay, we're gonna do one more, and you get a choice.
Oh, you always do this.
I know, I like it.
It is kind of cool.
First one, am I the a-hole for telling my brother to stop complaining about child support since he chose to have sex with a woman he barely knew? Or...
That seems like a very fucking typical situation. What's the next one?
am I the asshole for leaving a lot of sex toys out when my landlord was showing my apartment?
I want that one.
I thought you might. This one was from 5 years ago. Am I the asshole? Says, I live in a 2-bedroom apartment on my own. The second bedroom is for guests, and I'm planning on moving out this spring. So my landlord was showing my apartment. I haven't had much contact with my landlord since I've moved in. I pay my rent, and he keeps scarce even when I have maintenance issues, which is a pain. Last week, I was doing this intense spring cleaning, and the last 2 things I wanted to do were organize my clothes, donating unworn stuff to Goodwill, and clean out and organize my sex toy drawer. So I had piles and stacks of clothes all over my bedroom, and I was cleaning all my sex toys in my kitchen. Stuff had gotten dusty, and they're just things you want to keep really sanitary. So I'd run everything made of silicone through the dishwasher and put it on the drying rack. And I'd hand washed anything more delicate or battery powered and left it out on the countertop to dry. It's not a small collection, to be honest. I got an email from my landlord that afternoon saying he'd be showing my apartment in 2 days. So I made a mental note to remember to put everything away. But the next day I went to work and my friends with benefits invited me over for the night, so I didn't go home. Then the next day I went back to work and my friends invited me out to happy hour afterwards, so I didn't go home after work that day either. At the bar, one of my friends mentioned something about apartments and the thing I'd forgotten for 2 days, the big silicone thing all over my kitchen, came rushing back. I was like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And everyone wanted to know what was wrong. I was like, I just left a lot of sex toys on in my kitchen during an apartment showing, like a lot. And everyone started to laugh. I looked at my phone and I had an email from my landlord saying he was trying to show my apartment to a family and to please have my living space clean and family friendly. He said that one of the requirements in my lease was to keep the space clean and well kept or else I was in breach of my lease. I showed everyone the email and most of the group was dying laughing, but I still felt kind of mortified. Then this girl I'm kind of friends with started snapping at everyone that it wasn't funny, that I'd shown a family stuff that no kids should be seeing, that I had days to clean up and to not leave the stuff out. And it was really trashy. We thought it was a joke. I was like, sorry, I really am mortified about this. And she was like, you should be. Am I the asshole for forgetfulness, or was she overreacting a bit?
She's overreacting for sure. I think that as a landlord, before you're going to go show this place, maybe you should make sure it's a place you should be showing.
Yes, I agree. Also, she had a 2-day notice, and she should have put her dildos away.
I mean, yeah, definitely you fucked up. But again, like, it's kind of a two-party thing. Like, she fucked up and forgot, but at the same time, like, okay, I know she's moving out. Let me go in there and make sure that it looks like a place that I could rent out immediately.
Right. So Reddit deemed her the asshole.
Really?
Yeah. Top comment. You're the asshole because you had plenty of notice and potentially lost a renting opportunity for the landlord. Your friend overreacted about the dildos and the kids. Just seeing sex toys isn't going to be traumatizing or harmful for them, especially completely out of context like that. So friend is kind of an asshole, but tangential enough that I'm not including them in the judgment. The landlord is entitled to be annoyed because you didn't keep the space neat and showable even after a warning of several days. Agreed, even though I was leaning on not the asshole because it was an honest mistake. However, OP could have set an alarm on her phone or a reminder when she decided to go to her friends with benefits for the next day to clean up, or even just do it before she left her apartment.
Yeah, I guess I agree with that, but I still stand firm on what I said. Like, yeah, it sucks you forgot, but I just don't see, like, me personally, if I owned a rental fucking property, I am like gonna make damn sure that place looks good before new people come in.
Right, 100%.
And like the apartments that I lived in, they were not great. But
No.
the landlord there made sure that when somebody moved out, he was going to go in there. Like, he always did.
Right.
And, like, there was actually one time, this is a fucking crazy thing. So, the people that lived across from me upstairs, they moved out.
Okay.
And the landlord's wife was up there doing the carpets or whatever. And she knocked on my door. And I'm like, hey, how's it going? She's like, oh, not bad. She's like, could you come look at something for me? I'm like, sure. So I walked in there, and she's like, I didn't want to touch it. But can you tell me what you think this is? So in the back bedroom closet of this apartment, there was a, like the box that like you would get with like sandwich bags.
Okay.
There was a bag of coke or meth or something in
Oh
there.
my gosh.
So she's like, do you think that those people were doing that? I'm like, it's hard to say. I'm like, I know, like, when I moved into my apartment, they had the apartment door unlocked. So if they weren't available to show, you could go in there and just see, like, okay, yeah, like, I would take this place. So as many people that were in and out of there might have been somebody like, oh, hey, there's a fucking empty apartment. Let's go get all fucked up.
Yeah, because who would leave that kind of stuff? If you're in active addiction, you're not just going to leave.
No.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so I don't even remember what happened with that. I think, oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure there was even a fucking razor blade in there. But I'm like, I just looked at, and she's a little old lady. I don't know if you ever seen her.
I think I saw her like once.
She's nice as can be, wouldn't ever harm anybody. I'm like, you need to go take this down to the dumpster and throw it all the way in the back. And don't tell anybody about it.
I mean, she could have called the cops and they would have confiscated it.
Well, and that's kind of what I was thinking too, is because upstairs there was a camera in the corner.
Yeah, they
And
could have
those
seen.
cameras worked.
That would be hard, though, especially if people are coming and going to look at the place, like to know who brought it in, who didn't, who
That's
left
true.
it, if it was the previous tenants. Like,
I know they watched them cameras too because I threw a couch in the dumpster and she's like, "Can you get that out of the dumpster?" I'm like, "Yeah,
I remember.
my bad."
I remember. That was when we moved in together.
I felt pretty bad
That's
about that.
I. Well, you got it out.
I did. That sucked.
Oh. Someone did say, not the asshole. What you did was an inconsiderate mistake, but not asshole. All the wailing about what about the children is just that nonsense to justify other prudishness. The inconsiderate part is that you embarrassed your landlord who is not prepared to show strangers sex toys in an apartment he owns. And the thing is honestly, if there was children with the family, they probably walked in, saw those, turned the kids right around, and walked them out the door.
Right.
I doubt that they saw anything, and that's not saying that they haven't seen their mommy's toy. Like, come on. But yeah, she was deemed the asshole.
I disagree with that. Again, like that comment that you just read, I agree with that.
Yeah.
'Cause yeah.
Yeah. Someone said, I was once shown an apartment that had a couple who clearly just had sex, still in bed, and happy to share their positive views of the apartment. I still rented it and thought it was kind of funny.
That's not bad. I mean, it's not like you walked in when they were.
You're the asshole. Maybe instead of a mental note, actually write it down.
What? So landlord can come into a note on the fridge that says "pick up dildos."
Someone says you wash your sex toys in the dishwasher. Disgusting. Another person, why is that gross? It gets hot and soapy enough in there to kill everything.
You wash your fucking dishes in there and then eat off of them. So
apparently that's a common thing.
What?
People washing their dildos in a dishwasher?
Aren't half of them, don't they say dishwasher safe on them?
I don't know. I'd have to look at the boxes upstairs.
Well, you wouldn't know. We don't have a dishwasher.
I used to.
Yeah, when you had fucking roommates. Are you going to put a dildo in the dishwasher with a
I
roommate?
wouldn't have fucking cared. He was a jackass.
Alrighty then.
And then the other roommate was my cousin. She probably wouldn't have liked to see that, but I'm just saying. There is a lot of not the assholes on here too, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that you're the asshole. People forget all the time, dude.
Yeah, it says not the asshole. Keep in mind here that you owe your landlord nothing in this situation. It is not your job to make the space pretty or attractive to potential renters or buyers. There's no one's job but the landlords and the agents. If they want the property to their exact HGTV stupid ass specs, they can wait to stage it once you've vacated. Believe me when I say that your landlord, the agents, and potential buyers/renters of your apartment consider you dog shit for not being a homeowner. You should not believe the vitriol I hear being levied at tenants from agents, landlords, and homeowners. You owe these people nothing.
Agreed. Yeah, dude, there was one time, they came in and did an apartment inspection, which they didn't know that I had snakes.
Oh.
And I had my bong hidden and shit, but I smoked in my apartment. I forgot a fucking ashtray full of cigarette butts sitting on the fucking...
Oh, you're not supposed to do that.
No, but they liked me because I always had my rent in on time, and it was always cash. I always paid my rent in cash.
Yeah.
Every time, except the only time I didn't is when I put a deposit on my very first apartment. I wrote them a check because I wanted a receipt. And then after like a few months, I sent him a message. I was like, "You good with cash?" He said, "Yep." He goes, "Do you need a receipt?" I said, do you think I need one? He goes, nope. I'm like, okay.
Then we're good.
Fair enough. And I would text him all the time, too, like, hey, my money's in the Dropbox.
Right.
Because people around there were sketchy. And, yeah, they had cameras right in front of the Dropbox. But, like, hey, there's a couple $100 cash sitting in there. You go grab it, you know, if you're in town or whatever.
Well, and that's what I did when we first moved into the apartment. I dropped cash off.
Right.
And then it got to be too much, and I'd get money orders because
well,
it was just
and
a
also
lot.
those landlords were fucking dick faces too. So, like, I would have much rather kept renting from who I was renting from before.
Their apartments weren't big enough.
Right, and dogs.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know. There's honestly there's times that I miss having that place.
Well,
It just because I had a lot of good times there, and
well, and you got to experience the whole living alone and having your own space. I technically experienced that for a little bit, but in all reality, I was either at your apartment or you were at my trailer. Like, it wasn't, I don't think I was really alone ever in my life. I've always lived with someone, except for those few months I had that trailer.
I thought early on in our relationship, I thought that would screw up our relationship.
Because I'd never
had that time to, I don't want to say grow up, but be yourself, be alone.
I do think that having my own place, like when I bought this house and being able to express myself and hang up my own wall hangings, and, you know, we just hung up the Christmas lights, and that's the first time I've ever been able to do that, like outside.
Right.
And that's so cool to me. Like, they look amazing.
Right.
I think that really helped with, like, I don't know, me feeling more like this is mine.
Well, and I've noticed a change in you since you've gotten the house. You're much more. You've always been pretty independent, but your independence is stronger, I guess. Like, you. So, like, when we had the apartment, things would be disheveled more.
Yeah.
So, like, our counters are fucked. There's shit on the counters that does not belong on the counters. But you also get to a point here where you don't want to see that anymore. And you'll clean for a whole day.
I'll organize everything.
Really, the only time that happened in the apartment is when you got pissed off at me.
Yeah, I tend to clean when I get mad.
Yeah.
I've always been that way.
Yeah, and that was... like, a part of me liked it. I'm like, well, I pissed her off, so I'm going to come home to a clean house. That's cool.
Yeah, but then it got to a point where you pissed me off so bad I'd just leave.
Yes.
I'm like, nah, you can deal with it.
Right. But like I said, like, you have a whole house, and you did this all on your own. And I told you then that I was proud of you for wanting to do it, and I'll tell you right now, I'm proud of you for doing it.
Oh, Shingo.
You're welcome.
I will say that my independence has grown a lot with, like, going and doing things alone. That has always been a struggle for me. I've always liked the company. I'm not good with quiet.
Right.
I'm still not great with quiet. But thank God for earbuds, and, you know, people like to talk to me on the phone when I'm in my car.
Well, like grocery shopping too. Because, like, you always wanted me to go grocery shopping with you, and I understand that. Like, and sometimes I do. But I'm like, there's really not a reason for me to be there. Because, like, if I go grocery shopping, like, for myself, I'm just going to grab what I want, and I'm not looking at the fucking price. Like, I'm just going to pay it.
Yeah.
And, like, you're very good about budget shopping for groceries and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, I go to 2 or 3 locations, make sure we get the best deals.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm not made for that. Like, well, shit. I stopped at Walmart today and got home at the same time as you.
Yeah.
By, like, a couple minutes, you know? Because I was in and out. I'm pretty good about going into a store and getting right the fuck back out of there.
Yeah, but the difference is I went to 2 grocery stores and got groceries for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I bought 2 extension cords.
Right.
And then when I went to Tyson's, I got some antifreeze.
Mm-hmm.
The only time it really takes me long in the store is if I've got money and I'm fishing shopping.
Right.
Because then it's like, what do I need? What am I gonna use?
Right.
Where do I plan on going? It's a fucking mess when I go fishing shopping. Let's be honest. Especially because I'm like, ooh, I need a new pole. I still need to replace a fucking pole.
Oh my goodness. That's why I don't like going fishing shopping with you because I'm just standing there for like an hour.
That's how I feel when I go grocery shopping with you.
I'm just like, okay, can
especially
we go home now?
Especially when we've been doing pretty good about making lists.
Mm-hmm.
Grocery lists are very fucking helpful.
Yeah, I love my lists.
Yeah, which I think that helps you. I think you shop a little bit faster when I'm not with you.
Yes.
Yeah,
I do. And you also don't lecture me when I stand there and glare at people until they move out of my way.
Oh, dude, you're fucking bad in public sometimes. We have gotten into it in fucking Walmart before. But
Yep.
I stand firm on that. I am not going to get in a fight because you ran your fucking mouth.
I say it in my head now and glare at people. It's fine.
Saying it in your head is one thing, but when you say it and they're in earshot and they turn around and fucking look at you.
I just look back.
Yeah. And then I'm like, what the fuck? Did she really just do that?
I glared at a lady today and she turned around and told me she liked my purse.
Good for you.
Anyway, so this was bedroom talk. I know we kind of went on a tangent there at the end. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of fucking awkward, if I'm honest.
You're the one who came up with this idea.
I did.
So that's what you get.
Whoopsies.
You wanted this. I
right.
delivered.
It's all right. It's a fun time.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next time, or you'll see us next time. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes.
Bye.
See ya.